Okay, so I'm putting an lm7 Generation 4 LS motor out of 2007 Silverado with the wire harness and computer for a 2008 GMC Savannah. I think it's the same for the Express. But I still need to get the fuse box because it's different on the vans than it is on the Silverados. This is one from a Silverado, and I'll have to sell that on eBay or whatever. I'm going to run the air cleaner out right here, and might use a mechanical fan. The air conditioner from the van might even fit in right there. I'm not sure about, it being further back like that, but this firewall I cut out so that I could have more space because it was right up against it after I hammered it back. And it was like, didn't have enough room for the dipstick for the transmission right there. And with the different oil pan that I put on it, it's like one off of Amazon for like a 56 Chevy or whatever. The oil for the engine dipstick comes up right here, and so that's a little bit better or whatever. But what I noticed is another clearance issue is the oil pan hangs down about an inch lower than the rest of the frame, so it looks like it's gonna get swiped on some things. I don't like that because I ride pretty rough, and I gotta figure out a way to get that up in there. Maybe just go get a different oil pan or something, because I'm gonna have to pull all this out in order to clean up the firewall and repaint it and everything. And let's see what else is good on here. Yeah, so I put in these control arms from Amazon.com. I forget the brand, but you'll recognize them by the tubular arms. Anyways, this wheel seems to be cocked in a little bit lower on the bottom. So they're like, I forget what is that called, camber or something. I don't know. It looks like it's tilted in like that. And over here under the dash, I'm gonna redo all the wiring. Wish I could get a stock steering wheel, the ones that are smaller, so it'd be real pretty. I got the gaskets for the doors. I'm gonna put more paint and stuff, but trying to keep it rust preventative, so I'm gonna have to redo all the bottom, and I'm still scrubbing it, spraying it, so that'll be fun. And this is how tight it fits with engine mount adapters that they have to run off of the old small block Chevy ones if you're switching from a small block to an LS motor. And then the pedal looks like it's gonna have to sit at a different angle, so I'm gonna have to lift that angle and put it off over here so that works right, put it in the right position or whatever. And you can see where it's sitting, how it's kind of cocked off of the wall like that. And I'm going to use as much of the wiring harness from the GMC Savannah as possible, because I found that one over at the junkyard. And you pull and pay Albuquerque, you can get a wire harness for like $45, I think, for like 6 foot of a wiring harness, or $4. So what I did was I brought some electrical tape to the junkyard, and I overlapped the wiring harness on itself a couple of times so that it looked shorter or whatever. And they kind of didn't buy that all that was for one vehicle, that it was one harness. But I don't know, maybe my tape got me away with that, like wrapping it up or whatever. And then I'm going to be spraying everything using this new type of gun where you don't have to use a big compressor. I have a big compressor, but I think if I could do it without the air, it'd be way better, more reliable, and last longer for having the pressure that I need. And anything else? Oh, this is the old wiring harness, and like you can check it and see if like it's too brittle or whatever with like a scratch test on the plastic. But as you can see, there's exposed wires right there and stuff, and I need to seal up some holes in the firewall. I got peeking through. I put in a manual transmission from a C4 or C3 Corvette. I don't know. It's like a 1990. It's a ZF 6-speed that I had in here, and I didn't like the way I had it set up. I shortened the input shaft on that transmission and put in a clutch off of a Camaro. And of course, it's like the 10-inch. I think it's a 10-inch clutch, but that's too small. And I mean, it worked, but when you gun it, it didn't hold the power from the engine. And the small blocks, they had like a 350 with mild compression heads on it, but even that motor like probably made like 220 horsepower on its best day, and this one's gonna make 300 something, 300 around there. And I had to shorten my shaft, my drive shaft a little bit, but that's kind of easy. Just grind off the welds and re-weld it. Mine was from a 78 Malibu, and my rear end is from a 78 Camaro, and I just use spacers for the leaf springs on the sides of them, and it worked. It fit in there, but I want to redo that too for independent suspension off of a Lexus LS430, and that's in later day. You know, I feel like I'm completely building a new car here, but I got to run the oil cooler for the transmission, and they make oil coolers also for the engine. So I may put that over here. I got to figure out a way to make it look prettier. Put in, when I was going through college, I was just trying to survive, and I didn't want to give up this car because, I was going through a rough time anyway. So didn't have any money. I just kept putting in parts from the junkyard, and I cut up this apron and stuff just to fit it and keep going, keep living life. But anyways, still learning a lot about the electronic signals and stuff, and I'm going to even put the body control module off the old one. Not that I'm trying to get it to run like it would have from the factory, because I didn't have the key from the one inside the junkyard, and I didn't have a steering column or steering wheel puller for the column to get all of the key junk off. And I'm not even going to use that column, so I got to make it look pretty for in here, and also so that it can't be stolen, even with the VATS delete on it, so that the computer runs the injectors. The computer, unless it gets a signal from the body control module, it won't run the injectors, is the main problem. So Holley has like an intake that they can run your engine with the injectors and everything. Or you could even buy, there's wiring harnesses out there for like $1,700, where it's like the whole thing, you just plug in everything on an engine and transmission that you get, and it'll run. But I wish I had that money right now. Right now I'm working on other things, and my engineering degree isn't being used right now. But I don't care, because I have the Lord. And so look how tight I have this here exhaust manifold. It sits almost right up against the Classic Performance Products steering box. If it would focus, it sits right up against it, and I got it to work by grinding on the cast iron exhaust manifold and stuff, but it's pretty centered in there with the old small